Dag iedereen, welkom bij Eén-Tweetje. Vandaag hebben we Mark Mckenzie, speler van de nationale ploeg van Amerika, maar ook centraal verdediger bij KRC Genk. Maar omdat Mark geen Nederlands kan, gaan we de interview switchen naar het Engels, dus dat gaan we nu doen. Ik ben vandaag hier met Gilles Beya. I'm here with Mark Mckenzie and I'm your host Brian Gilles. First of all, Mr. Mark Alexander Mckenzie, aka Captain America. Where does that come from, Captain America?
It comes from the movie. That's as simple as I can put it.
That's not what I heard.
Bro, I don't know why they call me Captain America. That's not me, you know? That's I would give it to like Christian, them guys.
They call a lot of American guys.
Every American guy is
right?
Captain America. So yeah, it just comes from the movie, I swear.
So when you're with the national team, everyone's just Captain America.
Pretty much. Anybody that can look inside, yeah, it's Captain America.
But it's because at the national youth team, you've got the national, you got the captain's band.
With the U18s and the U20s. So yeah, I was captain there. So maybe that's where it comes from. But
what do you mean maybe?
Maybe that's where it comes from. That's all I'm saying, you know?
When did you start playing football exactly?
Probably like 3 or 4. My daddy's Jamaican, but in the States, you know, it's all kind of sports. So I was playing basketball, I was playing football, I was playing, everything I could get my hands on, really. Okay. And then I didn't really fully commit to football until I was probably 8 or 9. You know, at that time, trying to figure out the academy situation and, if I really wanted to do it, you know, at the next level.
What made you go for football or soccer, as you maybe call it? Because in America, there's a lot of sports that are bigger and give you maybe more opportunities to grow.
A part of it was because I think I didn't feel like I was growing fast enough. I didn't hit my growth spurt till I was probably 16, 17, you know, and at that time, then I was like, maybe I could have played basketball, been a point guard, undersized, of course. But I think that played a role in it. But I also just love the game, you know, and it's cliche and it's like, everybody says they just love the game. But I had a natural calling for it. And at that point, I was like, I'm just going to ride it out, you know. And in the States, I was thinking more about college, you know, more about university and saying I can get a full-ride scholarship, go to prestigious university, you know, whichever one I want to, you know, has a good program, of course. And then, by the time I got through the Philadelphia Union's Academy, I was like, I can take this farther, you know?
So when you said you chose for basketball, so you would say you would be a point guard?
For sure. I'd be like an undersized point guard. You look in the game now, you got point guards who look like Ben Simmons. They call him a point forward. Yeah. And this man is almost 7 feet, right? Or I don't know what that is in that.
Like 2 meters. Something
it's over 2 meters, you know what I'm saying? So you got a guy handling the ball at 2 meters.
But would you be like more like a Chris Paul or like?
Yeah, more like a Chris Paul facilitator.
More like Kyrie.
Yeah, I'd be more probably Chris Paul. Just like you see how clean he is, how good he is at what he does, right? You know, his mid-range game is incredible. You know, his ability to pass the ball, his vision, court vision, his IQ, you know, all that stuff. I think that's where I see myself more, or saw myself more at least.
Does your style of playing basketball or maybe just other sports in general reflect to your style in football? Yeah.
I think because I played a lot of basketball, things happen fast. So you have to really think, you know, on your toes. You have to see stuff before it happens. You have to be able to laterally, you know, move. As a defender, that's kind of where you get the 1v1 defending and whatnot. But you just want to win your matchup. Really, I think that's also the competitive side of it. And I think that's where I pull some of the skills I learned from basketball and use them in football now.
What would you say is your best attribute when you're as a defender?
Probably I'd probably say in transition, you know, 1v1, you know, I have confidence in that area, you know, knowing like even if a guy has to step on me, I feel like I can recover, you know, on my ability to get up and down, you know, to get now. I've worked a lot on my lateral defense, you know, defending. I think you see how skillful a lot of these wingers are and how low to the ground, the center of gravity, how they can change direction on a dime. So I had to put in a lot of work in that area. But I feel like that is a strength in my game.
What's your biggest weakness?
I'd probably say I can be stronger in my aerial duels. You know, I think I can definitely work on the timing of my aerial duels and be more dominant in the air. You know, I have the athleticism to do it, but it's just really finding that knack, you know, finding that pocket for timing. You know, you look at undersized center backs. You look at a guy like Marquinhos, who's not the tallest defender, and you can call him a defender, but his ability to time his jump is top class. So he's able to get on corner kicks. He's able to win his aerial duels and defensively and on set pieces. So,
but it's funny though, because you told me that he wasn't a defender at first. So you started off as a what?
As a forward, man.
What type of forward was you?
Bro, I was a vertical forward. Get into the channel, bro. Lay off, spin, move.
Jamie
play over
Vardy,
the top. Bro, direct. Get the goals, man. All this, I got to get the touches. You know, like, all right, Benzema, he does it incredibly, right?
Yeah.
But me, I'm more of, I want to get to the goal as fast as possible. You know, I want to score as fast as possible.
Would you compare yourself to Haaland, maybe?
Yeah, similar.
Nah.
But that's
The style of play.
look, as a youth footballer, yeah, of
You'd
course,
be
yeah.
like Morata, fam, or Werner. You don't score
but
goals, but you run a lot.
Don't disrespect my speed, bro. Come on.
You're just offside all the time.
Sometimes, yeah, for sure, bro. I was trying to I'll tell you, I'm getting to the goal as fast as possible, you know. But yeah, I think I was direct, bro. I lay off, get into the channel, and get the ball over the top on the ground. In front, just put your chances away.
So what happened then?
Bruh, I was starting to hit my growth spurt, and a lot of the guys in the academy still weren't that big. And yeah, in America, it's like if you're big, you put the big guys in the back, and then eventually, yeah, you sort it out from there. But yeah, I was pissed off, of course. Nobody wants to be a defender. Like, you want to score the goals. It's the glory position, right? And then to have a coach tell you, sorry, you're going to send a defender. It's like, and I had even played midfielder. Yeah, I'd even played midfielder in my youth football setup. You know, and I would be fine playing 6. You know, I love that position because you can still get stuck in, you know, but you still have the ability to get forward in the attack and, you know, find those moments. And yeah, now.
Can you find joy in maybe winning duels and preventing
For sure.
the other?
For sure.
For example, Paul to score in training.
Yeah, that's a daily battle. You know, I try to pick Paul because you know you're gonna have, you know, your hands full. But now, yeah, I've grown into the position. I've been playing it since I was 13, you know, 14. Yeah, so now I have a joy for stopping guys, pissing off forwards, you know, making their days, making their lives, you know, miserable, you know. I think about, you know, all the times I could have played against Brian and really, you know, got under his skin. It wouldn't have been that hard. But.
Never. I'll skin you 1v1, but it's fine. But you went to your first academy at age 12. That was at Philadelphia Union.
Yep.
If I understand properly. But you lived in New York. So how was that? Did you travel all the time? Or
No, so I lived in New York for the early years of my life and then moved to a state just probably a couple hours south, Delaware. And then I was in the youth setup there. Kind of started with a local team. You know, we call it the YMCA back in the States, but it's like a community center. You go, they have different sports programs that the kids can go to, you know, during the day. They have gym there and whatnot. So, yeah, I started there with a small team, a little travel team. Would travel locally, you know, to states nearby, a couple hours, you know, in terms of a radius. And then by the time I got to, I think I was playing 2 years up. So I was under 7 playing with under 9s, under 10s. And then they started moving on to secondary school and whatnot, and I had to try and figure out, you know, what am I going to do now that the guys are aged out of the team. And from there, I joined we call it like in Pato, they call it Stush, you know, it's like a bougier club.
are you from the suburbs, yeah?
Nah, it was just a better setup, you know. I could have gone to another team, and I think about the decision with that, but yeah, I went to this team. Now it's the Delaware Rush program, and then I was there in that setup. I was one of the better players, so I had the blessing to be able to have a lot of my travels and everything covered by the club. And yeah, look, I don't come from a wealthy background. You know what I'm saying? You know, my parents work for everything, so yeah, when I was there, I had to really put my best foot forward. And by the time I turned 11, I had the opportunity to join the Union's Academy, their pre-academy. And yeah, I would travel back and forth between Delaware and Philadelphia, you know, an hour and a half in the car with a couple other guys. You know, there's like kid Anthony Fontana, who's also in Philadelphia with the first team with me, you know, and a few other academy players. And my dad would drive up, you know, and back, or my mom or or their parents, you know, would take us. So yeah, I had a lot of car rides, you know, doing homework, eating food, and from there, that's kind of when things really kicked off.
And how did things go in your further career?
Yeah, I think I haven't had a smooth trajectory, in terms of, my young career, I guess you can call it. It's been rocky. I got to the Union. I went to university first. I went to Wake Forest for a semester, for like 4 months, 5 months. And then eventually signed back in MLS for the Philadelphia Union. And from there, came in with I don't even think I was offered a first team deal until like the latter parts, right before I left the university. And yeah, I went in with the mentality like, look, I'm gonna go in. I want to be a professional. Maybe university isn't for me, but I need to be in that environment. I want to test myself. I want to take my game to the next level. All these things that you think about as a footballer. And yeah, once I got there, I said, listen, if I'm not with the first team, I just got to do my minutes with the second team, and really show that, what I can do on a daily basis. So I went in with that mentality, of not expecting the most, not expecting to be given anything. And by the time I got to like April, I finally got my opportunity with the first team to play. So
at first your objective wasn't to make it to being a full-time MLS player, or was it?
No, it was originally going to university. I said I'll ride it out. I'll graduate, in 3 years. So I'll, finish early and then go to the MLS. And things ain't go that way. Even at university, I had a tough time. I wasn't even playing because a lot of times the university is about seniority. So if you got a guy who's been at the university for 3-4 years, been in the program, likelihood that you come in and play over him is slim. So yeah, even there, I didn't start playing until the last 2 months of the season, when the senior ended up getting a knee injury. And I kind of got thrown into the fire of like, good luck, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, from there, it was...
I have a couple of questions then. So, because you told me off camera then that when you signed that Philadelphia Union at 12, you signed away your rights already?
Yeah, you signed like a contract, academy contract, saying you're fully committing to the program, and from there, it's not like in Europe where a lot of young kids are paid, through the academy and then to the first team. But there you kind of sign saying you commit full time to the club, to the team, to showing up every day, to training, showing up to the matches. The club will equip you with gear, with pay for your travel, pay for your food when we're traveling and for matches and whatnot. But if you decide to go and follow another endeavor, so play another sport or try and squeeze in that time to do something else, and you get hurt, we have the right to cut you, to end the contract.
But does that, because you told me, does that waiver then go all the way when you go to the first team? Because you left for college, you didn't get drafted, or you did get drafted?
No. So because I was already affiliated with the Union, so how it works in MLS is like
homegrown.
if you have like the connection to the one of MLS team and you start in their academy, then you can't really go to the draft unless you are away from the club for, I think it's like a couple years or something like that. You give up your rights. So
was there a contract before you went to uni?
Yeah, there was a second team contract, and I chose. Why
didn't you take that one then?
Because for me, I wanted to experience university. I wanted to go and kind of enjoy and see what the life was like. Step away from being home. Yeah, I kind of test myself in those waters, and then from there, whatever happens. But for me, I think it was important for me to be away from home and kind of go through the beginning difficulties of my career.
Okay. And what did you study at college?
Originally, I came in with undecided. I didn't really pick a major.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't go in with the intention of figuring out what I was going to study probably till my second year.
Okay.
To kind of figure out how things would go, what my interests were and whatnot. Originally, before I played football, I wanted to be a heart surgeon. I wanted to be, in the hospital working.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And then football kind of came about.
So what have you learned in pro football that you could never learn in college, and reverse? So what did you learn in college that you never could learn in pro football?
I think in college, you really have to learn time management. Especially when you're a full-time athlete. So you're going through your daily schedule. You start with classes. Sometimes you have training in the morning, and then from there you have class from 8 a.m. all the way till 3 o'clock. Then you got maybe a second training, or you have a lift or something in the evening after classes are done. Then you have study hall. In study hall, you have to have a certain number of hours during the week to knock out any schoolwork, to meet with any professors in their after hours, to get tutoring, you know, all this stuff, you know. And because of that, you then, have you really don't have free time, you know. So you're sitting in study hall and you're like, you know, do I really want to do my schoolwork? And I had this long day, you know, but you know, at the end of the week, you travel away, you know, and then you have to figure out how you're going to make up the classwork that you missed, you know, for the classes that you're missing.
And the flip question?
Did that time help you enough to become a better pro right now?
I think it did. I'll get to your question.
That's fine.
Don't worry about it. I think it did, because at that time I was coming out of high school, secondary school, whatever you want to call it, and you now have this. Yeah, you have this opportunity in front of you, you know, but I also have a family that's big on academics, you know, and knowing that, knowledge is power, right? So I think that it taught me that time management, and it taught me that, okay, football is a beautiful and you enjoy it, and it's a blessing to be able to play at the highest levels, but it doesn't last forever, right? So what are you going to do to make yourself sharper, you know, in the mind, you know, and by studying other areas, you know, by studying how to invest, you know, by studying things like real estate, by studying different industries, you know, like I have a podcast, you know, how does the film industry and the podcast industry work, you know, with all these different things, you know, and some people will call it, energy suckers, you know, things that take your energy away, right? But for me, it's finding what works for me, you know. For me, it's sharpening my mind, you know, in a different way, seeing things from a different view. And that's why I think, you know, that time away from home and that time at university helped me to kind of figure out what was best for me and what niches, you know, were for me. So, and then what was it? The second question was about...
don't point at me like that.
I pointed at you, man.
Your second question was, what did you learn from pro football that you could never learn in college?
How to manage the highs and lows, you know, that come with the role. I think in university it's cool because it's surrounded by a bunch of people who are relatively your age. You know, everyone is trying to make it, you know, whether it's on the field or off the field, you know, whether you're an athlete or a non-athlete. Everyone's kind of has similar goals, right? But when you get to the pro, you know, when you step into this environment where it's cutthroat, you know, and if you want to be the best, you're going to be around the best, and the best are going to demand more of you. You know, they're going to demand the excellence, you know, a lot of ways. And sometimes you're not going to be able to deliver that. You know, some days you're going to be off, you know, and then when you have an off day, some managers may bench you and cut you, you know, from the team. And now you're sent down to the second team because you had an off couple of days, you know. And sometimes you're in form. And when you're in form, you're flying, you're confident, you're not thinking, playing instinctually, and all this stuff is happening. And you're feeling great, you know. Now you have the potential to become complacent and sit back like, oh, you know, life is good, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm playing, I'm starting, I'm making my bonuses, I'm, you know, scoring goals, social media is blowing up over me, my following just went up 20K, X, Y, and Z, national team travel, you know, so all these things pop in your head and you're like, dang, you know, I made it. But then you got to remember the other side of it, you know. You got to remember, dang, I had an injury a couple years ago, you know, or the potential I could always get injured, you know, so I can't sit back and think that it's all sweet, you know. So, yeah, I think that being in this environment and learn about that at a relatively young age has helped me tremendously. So,
yeah, because from the flip side, obviously, if you had your highs with the US men's national team, but also your lows, because you made your debut, you played with the youth setup. I want to focus on that first. So one of the highs, the US under-20s men's national team, because it's a long word. Got to the quarterfinals of the under-20s World Cup, and you beat one of the most talented countries that was present in France. How was that as a country that is not really looked at as a country with a lot of footballing talent, but eventually in that year or in that season, you've had a lot of players from that squad, like Serginho Dest, who now plays for Barcelona. You got Samuel Vines, plays for Royal Antwerp in Belgium, just like you. Richards, who plays for Bayern Munich, is now loaned at Hoffenheim. You got Paxton and Brandon, who both play for FC Dallas. Conrad, who plays for Marseille, and the list goes on. And obviously the big name, Weah. How was that high making it to a tournament where there's not a lot of expectations, but you still get to the quarterfinals?
Bro, to be honest, that tournament was bittersweet for me because I had an emergency appendectomy. So probably a month before the tournament started, I had my appendix ruptured, and I didn't know it was leaking. And then I was preparing. I think it was the night before a game that was probably gonna be my first start of that season, the 2019 season. Yeah. And I couldn't go because I had surgery, emergency surgery that night or the following morning, the morning of the match. And in my head, I was thinking, like, how am I going to get back? Because the surgeon's telling me it's going to take at least 6 weeks for me to be back on the field. But I need to be back running in 2.5 weeks so that way I can be relatively fit, or at least 75, 80% going to the World Cup and allowing the coach to make the decision as to whether they're going to take me. I can finish up my rehab there and prepare for the matches. But that also puts me behind because I haven't played now in 2 months, you know? So I go into the tournament. You know, thankfully, Ty Ramos, he brought me in, and I was with the group and finishing up and being around the guys, you know. But while I was there, I knew in my head I wasn't at my fullest. You know, I wasn't at 100%, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to deliver in the way I wanted to, you know. And I think that's what made it difficult because you're at this tournament, and I've been working with the team. You know, we make it through qualifiers and getting through that tournament, and knowing that in June you have this big opportunity. Or May, June, you have this big opportunity, and being there and knowing that you're not at your fullest, you know, I think that's what kind of hurt. But I also knew I had a different role, you know, at the World Cup. You know, I was one of the more mature guys on the team. I was captain of the group, and now you see, I had to try and lead in a different way. You know, I had to try and show the group that I was there, you know, even when I wasn't at my fullest, you know, even when I knew in my head I was pissed because I wasn't going to be on the field as much as I wanted to. So it was a tournament where I was like, you know, I'm blessed to be here, excited to be here, but this is a big opportunity that I won't be able to fully, you know, maximize because I'm not at my fullest health. So, I played against Qatar in the last group stage game. We make it out the group. I came on against Nigeria, you know, in the second group stage match, and then we make it to the France game. And in my head, I'm preparing, you know, I'm coming off 90, I'm ready. You know, I end up not getting the nod for that game. But the build up to that game, knowing that the guys needed, you know, everyone needed to be ready. I think that's what was the biggest, you know, moment for me, you know, of really making sure the guys are stepping into that match mentally and physically prepared. Because we're going against a team with guys like Zagadou, who's at Dortmund, you know, Mikel Cuisance, Moussa Diaby. You go down the list of Kamara, who's Marseille now, you know. You go down the list, that team is extremely talented, you know. But we know we also have a talented team, you know. So how are we going to go out and show, you know, that the U.S. don't just make a bunch of basketball players, don't just make a bunch of American football players, you know what I'm saying? We can go out and actually play football, you know. So, you know, that tournament was, bittersweet, but I try to take the most out of it, you know, and really learn the lessons of being a leader from a different way than just on the field.
Do you think that tournament was a catalyst for US players to come to Europe and really be stars? Because you've got, for example, Brendan Aronson that you played with at Philadelphia Union. But like I said, when like Serginho was there, do you think that was like the turning point in all of like a lot of players that are like you in their careers? That was difficult. That was difficult. Do you think that was a turning point in your careries?
Yeah, I think
was better.
I know you could have shortened that a whole lot, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'm trying to be too, you know.
It's because I'm here,
Cookie
bro.
cutter.
It's because I'm here.
Nah, it's not.
But I think it was. I think it was a catalyst. I think it was a big moment for the national team because we got to show against a top team, a team that was a favorite to win the tournament. We just knock them out of the quarter or the round of 16. Like, yeah, we can ball too. You know, we can put goals in against the best of the best. And now, we look at that group and you leave that statement, and then a few months later, you have guys who are going. You know, we got, the list. You already named off the players, but I think it was a catalyst. You know, I think it showed that we could ball.
And yourself too.
Yeah, and myself too. You know, my time came a couple years later, but that's the biggest thing. I talk. People always ask me about the national team because I wasn't one of the guys who was in the national team setup early on, you know, regularly, you know. I was kind of on and off, you know, in the early youth stages, and then I didn't become more consistent probably till you under 18s. And then was getting called in, to all the camps. And then finally U20s, getting called in, and that's when I kind of really made my breakthrough. But yeah, that was a waiting game because you see all the guys around you going to camp. You see all these other footballers, you're like, dang, he's a beast. This guy's a baller, and he's going to camp, but I'm not going. What am I missing? And then there's even guys who I felt like I was better than who were going to camp, and I was like, bro, why is he going to camp? I should be playing in his place. But I knew in my head my time would come, right? My time was, I just had to be patient, wait my time. So yeah, ultimately you see it motivates you to work even harder, it motivates you to go harder and ultimately take some, challenge each other, because you sometimes end up in the same clubs as the guys you consider your boys, right? And now you're battling on a day-to-day basis, right? So yeah.
Just to round up Philly, so in 2018, you made your debut, if I'm right. You made 19 regular season appearances, 18 starts, which got you named finalist for the league's Rookie of the Year award. But then you've won your first trophy with Philadelphia Union in 2020, the Supporters Shield. What is that? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, the Supporters Shield is an interesting trophy because it goes to the team. It was originally started by a bunch of supporters because winning the league didn't really have any reward, any merit. So before the Supporter Shield, there was, like congrats, a round of applause. Yeah, good job, guys. We did it. Now you have playoffs because America love a playoff system. Honestly, Belgium like a playoff system too. But yeah, we have the playoffs. So you just play for the playoff, and whoever makes it out of that tournament is the best team in the league, right? And then finally, the supporters came up with this, this award, and they gave it to the team that was the best supporters group that pushed their team to win the league. Because again, supporters are a big boost. They're the 12th player, if you think about it. And yeah, it came from there, and stuck, from time. But yeah, it's like winning the league, that's the trophy for winning the league. So it was important because it shows the consistency. It's difficult winning, and staying on top for the majority of the season. Finishing on top because everybody's fighting to be there, and it's easy to get knocked off, right? So, that's where the Supporter Shield come from, and first trophy in club's history after failing and falling short on multiple occasions. I was part of one of the, it's like in America, it's like the FA Cup, but it's called the Open Cup. It's called the Open Cup. Yeah. So you have teams from both divisions will come and they'll play against each other throughout the season, and then as the season goes on, you figure it out. But yeah, we made it to the final 2 times. One time hosted it in Philadelphia and lost in penalty shootouts, and then lost to Houston Dynamo away 3. Yeah, it was we didn't really execute on our chances. So yeah, I think it was like 3-1 or 3-0, something like that. So it wasn't a good day at all. But yeah, falling short twice. Getting there, and, getting to a final. It's like you work all this, you make it all this way, and then you fall on your face. The last most important moment. So to finally get over that hump of getting the first trophy, I think it really helped the club. And brought a lot of eyes, a lot of attention, to the team, and showing like, we have a good system here. We got youth players who are contributing heavily to the team, but we also have guys who aren't the big name signings. We call them designated players in MLS, but we don't have these big name players coming to our team really. We have a bunch of guys who know their role and are going to roll up their sleeves and get the job done. So I think that's the Philly mentality. I mean, that's kind of what's brought the success.
Then the success took you overseas.
Now, I was going to link it up as well. Is that something that the Supporter Shield, is that something that Belgium should implement as well for the teams that finish first throughout the season? For example, this year is Union.
Yeah.
For season before was Club Brugge. Do you think that should be something that at least when you play the full season you get a trophy, or you think like that the system how it is now is fine enough?
Nah, bro. I think if you stay at the top and you make it all the way through the season and you're still at the top, then you should get a reward for that. You should get a trophy for that. Every other league, the best leagues in the world, right? We look at it and if you win the league, you win the league. There's not a playoff system, you know, and there's no bashing to the Belgian league. But in my personal opinion, I think that that's the best way to do it. You know, you play through the year, and if you're the most consistent team and you show you're the best on a week-to-week basis, by every means, you need to get rewarded for that, you know. But again, the playoff system makes it interesting, of course. You know, we were in it last year in playoff one, you know, and competing head-to-head. Went on a really, really strong run at the end of the season, and we're close to winning the league, you know, through the playoff. Yeah. But, yeah. Like that's you know, that's just my opinion. I think that ending the league and however the table sits, and that's the way it goes. So,
did you feel that there was a big kind of adaptation to make from playing in America to playing in Europe, playing wise?
Playing wise, yeah. Week to week, you have it's not easy. You know, I think sometimes in MLS, because we don't have the promotion relegation, once a team knows they're out, or you know, mathematically out of contention to win the league or to be in the playoff, then they're kind of like, oh, we're here, you know, and that's not discrediting MLS. You know, I think now the levels it's risen by a fair amount. But when you add promotion relegation, there's money involved. You know, you add European spots. There's, you know, so on a week-to-week basis, you have teams that are fighting to stay above relegation. You have teams that are fighting to stay in the championship playoff and playoff 2. All of this added pressure, all of these moments, you know, I think that's what makes this league more difficult, you know, and I think that challenge is why I came here. You know, I didn't think I was ready necessarily in my progression to make it or to go to the top 5 league just yet. You know, I think I needed a step to adapt to the way of European, you know, life, and ultimately challenge myself, you know, Belgium first, and it's a good league, you know. I think it's just outside of the top 5 leagues in terms of bringing, you see the players that leave, you know, Belgium, and then ultimately move on. So, yeah, for me, I think that's why I came here, to kind of test myself.
Before you said that, you said you didn't want to go to top 5 league yet because you don't think you was good enough or ready enough to go. Is it true that you were supposed to go to another club before you went to Genk? Or I'm not allowed to speak about that?
No, it's cool. Yeah.
Which club?
There was interest. I won't give details as to which clubs, but yeah, there was 1 or 2 clubs that we were trying to work some stuff out, but it fell through. Celtic, I'll give you one. Celtic was the big one. The big one in summer of 2020. Yeah, summer 20. I was COVID. Yeah, COVID year. So we just come out. We were going into the bubble. Just before going into the bubble, we were coming out of quarantine and everything. And yeah, I was linked to Celtic heavily. You know, when we were close, but things fell through, and ended up finishing the year and helped the team, you know, win the trophy at the end of the year and defend the year finalists and those accolades and whatnot. But yeah, I think it was probably beneficial to finish out the year with the team, you know, and whatnot. So you don't know what could have been, right? But I try not to live in retrospect of thinking, if I went here, then this, you know, that's, everyone can think like that, but it's only going to eat you up inside. So yeah, for me, it was, Celtic was the big heavy link.
Do you feel any big cultural differences also in moving to Belgium, playing football in Belgium, and the Belgian football culture?
Yeah, it's more intense, you know. You see at the matches how the supporters are really on top of you, you know, and they'll let you know how they're feeling, you know. We've gone through that a few times this year with our supporters. But yeah, I think that is the culture that you want to be in, you know, or at least I want to be in. That's the culture where people live, eat, breathe football. You know, you walk into the town, and if you lose the match, you know, bad, people are gonna let you know, like, yo, walk on, what happened, you know, on Saturday or Sunday, you know. And I think that's what I want to be around, because I do it as well. I live, eat, and breathe football. I watch it all day. So when you're around that, you know, makes you really step up your game, because you don't want to be the one, you know, in Centrum now. Sitting around like, you see, that's the player there that lost on the weekend, you know that. So,
which stadium was the most difficult one to play in, fans wise? Like the hostility.
Yeah, it's
Antwerp.
Antwerp.
Antwerp was up there. It's difficult because last year we didn't have the chance to really be in the stadiums full, but it was I'd probably say Antwerp, Bruges, and what's the third one? The third one was
Anderlecht, Union.
Union. I don't think we had support. I think it was like 50% or 40%. So I didn't get the full effect. But I think. Yeah, Antwerp and Bruges. Those are like the top two, you know, in terms of when the full capacity, who we, felt it.
Just something, just besides football, we just went to an American store because you wanted American food. What's the number one thing that you miss from America?
I got a few things, man, but...
Oh, wow.
I got a few things.
Oh, you got a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Wait.
No. Listen, I don't have a sweet tooth, but I enjoy a sweet. No, I enjoy a sweet.
You have a sweet tooth.
I enjoy a sweet.
Can I explain the story?
Go ahead.
The first time we met,
I want a waffle, man.
No.
I wanted a waffle.
He told me, Brian, get me to waffle spot because I want waffles. I understood. Your American is fine.
Yeah.
We went to the Mer. We got waffles. This guy ate waffles. We left somewhere else. Got waffles again, and then to go home, he got another bag of waffles.
As you should.
Yeah, bro, it was my first experience. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
As an American in Belgium, enjoy life.
Hey, I'm saying, it was my first weeks here, and I was like, I hear the waffles are good. I want to see what, if they taste different with each shop, you know what I'm saying? We went
Brussels.
Thank you. At least I got somebody on my side here.
I took you there, so I understand. Then we went Brussels, and what did you get again?
Waffles. Of course.
Which one is your favorite? Which one is your favorite topping?
I get the I don't know. It's a light cream. It's like it's a whipped cream. Yeah.
No, wait.
It's like the whipped cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whipped cream.
Yeah, it's like
Slagroom.
Yeah. And they have like the chocolate bars. Like it's like a chocolate wafer.
Oh, Bueno.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like these,
maybe it's right. Yeah, he's right.
Bro, it's like, and then I had some strawberry glazing.
See?
Oh wow. Okay. I'm on his side now.
Bro, dang.
So what's the thing that you miss the most about America, like food-wise or culture-wise, and what's the weirdest thing about Belgian culture?
Food-wise, I miss Chick-fil-A and I miss Chipotle.
So fast food.
Couple. I don't know. Chick-fil-A, yeah, fast food. Chick-fil-A is fast food, but Chipotle is not really like fast food. It's more like quick eats. You know, you have to go inside to get food.
Eats?
Quick eats is like...
That's like the same
fast
as fast is quick food.
Yeah, it's no, but all right, for me, fast food is like McDonald's. You go to the drive-thru, that's fast. You go...
Okay.
But this place, you can't go to a drive-thru, so you have to actually park, get out. So technically, it's quick eats if you want to get technical. But it's like Mexican... It's like American Mexican food. Yeah. It's a mix. Nice. Yeah, but it's like you get a bowl or a burrito, and you throw on your protein, you have vegetables, but it's good, and you can make it healthy if you want to, you can make it heavy if you want to, but I think that's like two foods that I miss, plus mama's home cooking. But
something bizarre about Belgium?
Well, all right, when I first got here, it was COVID, so benefit of the doubt, it was COVID, so... But I think stuff was closing earlier, so it was like it's like 5 o'clock. It's like 5 o'clock. It was closing. I was like, "Yo, what? U.S., bro? Are you serious? In the U.S., everything is open always and late, and especially food. Food late night. Oh man, I love a good late night spot on the weekend after a game. You come back from a game, food after the match wasn't really that good. It was like healthy. So I wanted some good hearty food, you know what I'm saying? Because I got off tomorrow. Enjoy.
Moeilijke.
So man. Let me tell you. I think my first experience was I went to, I think it was a pizza spot. And
in Genk.
Yeah, I think it was in Genk. Yeah. And I went and I was like,
a lot of Italians in Genk.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yeah, there's a few. But I got out of training late because we had a double. So I was leaving training like 5:30. So I was like, all right, cool. The spot was closed at 6 o'clock.
That's weird.
I said, nah, that's not right. So then I had another experience. There was another store I went to. This was last week or a couple weeks ago.
I know. I saw you post on Instagram.
The spot closed like 30 minutes early.
Bro, just go early. I told you this.
Bro, if I have training, I can't get out of training until a certain time. I just need to... A break. You
You
think,
have a 1 hour half break.
bro? That's a nap. You know how hard the training is, bro. If you have a double day that first session, bro. But anyway, yeah, I think stuff closing earlier, not being open like midnight, like stuff in the States, bro. There's restaurants open till 2 a.m. and whatnot. So I'm used to that. So I'm getting used to shopping earlier. You know, preparing ahead of time. Like, all right, grocery store closes at 6:30 or 7. I need to go right after training because by the time I get home, sit on the couch, that's it.
It's done.
I'm not cooking. I'm done. So if I go, I get the stuff, chop it up, put it, cook, eat, calm. So yeah, I'm cool now. I'm good now.
And is there a big difference in the way of eating regimes in American football as opposed to Belgian football?
No, I think now, especially with this in this day and age of technology and all the little trying to get 1%, you know, on people, it's not really a lot of big differences. You know, you have the what's it called, nutritionist who's there. You have the chef who's there. You know, so you can usually find ways to figure out what's best for you. You know, so again, it was different for me trying to adjust to the different culinary tastes. You know, in Belgium, whereas in the States. I think it wasn't hard for me because I enjoy food. I enjoy trying different cuisines in different countries and whatnot. But yeah, I think that nowadays with technology and stuff, there's not a big difference between foods and diets and whatnot.
I think I already know the answer, but I'm still going to ask you. What is one thing that you would take from Belgium and bring it to the US? If you say waffles, I'm going to say...
Rest.
Rest?
Yeah.
Rest. Why rest?
Because, bro, in the States, everybody's working hard. Everybody's working all the time, bro.
You're telling Belgian people.
So we're lazy.
I'm not telling people, hey, to all my Belgian people, y'all aren't lazy by any means, but you enjoy a good rest, okay? Yeah. And that's something that I think a lot of Americans need, you know? Also, like diet as well. You know, you see out here, I'd probably say it's healthier food, you know, but that's like a general statement. That's a blanket statement. But the way people eat is a lot less massive. You know, in the States, you get food and it's a lot of food all the time. But here, you get a good portion, you know, so you're not leaving feeling like, oh, I got all this food on my stomach. But back to rest, States, that's why, you know, spots open till 2 a.m, 3 a.m, people working multiple jobs all the time. And there's a lot of different stuff we could talk about with, you know, healthcare and all this stuff. That's all politics and stuff. But it plays a role in that, you know, where people feel like they got to work till 2 a.m. and got to work again another job at, you know, it's 10 in the morning and stuff. So Sundays, a lot of stuff is closed here, you know, and I think that's something that a lot of Americans can implement into their lifestyles, you know, taking a day to kind of relax, to let the week go. You know, everybody carries so much weight on their shoulders all the time. And I think it's like, it's important to have a chance to breathe a bit. So, yeah.
You said you like a lot of different cuisines.
Yeah.
I know 2 weeks ago, you went to London.
Yeah.
What happened?
Bro, man's called a stomach bug.
What's that?
Stomach bug is like a stomach virus where like, you can't keep food down, you know, so it comes out the front or the back. It's not fun, bro. It's not fun.
But talking about London, your favorite club is Arsenal. Is that your dream club? Is that?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Which ones are the other ones?
Arsenal, I'd love to go to Spain. Love to go to Spain, play for a club like Sevilla.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, Sevilla.
Yeah.
That's an odd pick, but I like it.
No,
I respect
it's
it.
cause everybody wants to go. Like like Madrid and Barcelona. That's like the team everybody wants to go to, right? Yeah. But you see a team like Sevilla or Villarreal. You know, these teams that are still the quality cities, but they also play good football. You know, I think that's something that I would enjoy. So I think those are a couple teams that.
It's a bit like Genk. Have the same philosophy of playing beautiful football. So.
You want to play, you know.
What made you go to Genk? Oh, you already told us.
What made me go to Genk? Yeah, I wanted to challenge myself, but you see the program that they have, the system that they have where they develop guys and then they sell them on, you know, and I think that's ultimately the goal, right? You know, come here to develop and challenge test my game, you know, see which areas of my game are weaker than others, fine-tune them, and then set myself up to now play against, you know, the best of the best in the best leagues.
So if I want to circle back to last season and this year, last year you almost won the league. A lot of people in Belgium feel that if the playoff took a week or two longer, you might have won it.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way? And would you think you would deserve You would have deserved to win the league if you did it in that way?
I think that if there was an extension to the playoff, yeah, we would have won it. But I don't think that we necessarily deserved it because we went through a bad stretch in the season, you know? And that's not me disrespecting the club or the team, but we were dropping points left and right at a certain part of the year. I had arrived in January and we were dropping results, you know, left and right. And that set us back, you know, from our ultimate goal of finishing top of the table, top of the league. And I think although we had a really good playoff and we almost had it, yeah, we dropped 2 points against Anderlecht in the playoff. But we can go back to January and February when we were losing games, you know, that we should have won. And I think, or drawing games we should have won. So I think that set us back and stopped us from ultimately achieving that.
As an outsider of not being grown up in Belgian football, how was it the first time you heard that the points were cut in half just before?
Bro, I was like, what do you mean the points are cut in half? I was like, all right, it benefits us, yeah, because now we have a chance to really go head to head with every team. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, we got a good amount of points on the teams in third and fourth, but we also, you know, had, I think it was like 8 points or 9 points between us and Bruges, you know, at the time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, it's blessed, but dang, you know. Mm-hmm. So now it's like a head-to-head where you're like, all right, every match you play, you have the opportunity to climb the table or drop the table. So, yeah, I was shocked at first, but you kind of see it from both sides depending on where you finish. So luckily for us, we were in a good spot. You know, we were in second at the time. Or let me think.
You were second?
Yeah, we were second. Yeah, we were second at the time. And Anderlecht and Antwerp, that's how it finished. And so ultimately it's good and bad sometimes.
If you compare them both playoff systems, US, Belgium, which one would you prefer more than? The one where you still have a little gap from the teams that you already played against, or you just start from scratch and just play?
I think I like the Belgian playoff system if you're going to compare them because you have the chance to kind of set the record straight, you know what I'm saying? Where you're like, all right, we didn't do well, you know, in this period here, but we have now the chance to kind of start from zero, and whoever wins the most games or has the best run will then go on. Whereas in MLS, it's a one-off playoff game. So for us, we won the Supporter Shield, and then 2.5 weeks later, we ended up losing to the team New England Revolution, we beat like four times during the season. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? We put on all this work, and now we lose in this match. You know, after a long season. So yeah, credit to them. They beat us fair and square.
The new coach coming, was that a lifeline for you? Because obviously at the start of the season, at the back end of the season before, you played quite a lot. You played a lot in the playoffs. Then the new season came. You didn't really play a lot under John. Now the new coach came in, and it seems like he put in a rotation system. When John left, obviously you're not happy that he left, but did that give you like some sort of lifeline? Like, yes, I can start over again?
I think, yeah, in a way, you think about it and you can see it from that perspective. But I think I saw it as not necessarily a lifeline, but a new opportunity. You know, you kind of start fresh, you know, in a way. Of course, I don't think that I had personally the greatest first halves of the year, you know, in terms of my performances. I feel like I could have stepped up, you know, and been more assertive, you know, in dominating the game. You know, I felt like there was areas where I wasn't sharp enough, you know. And, yeah, of course, it's the coach's decision, you know. And honestly, nobody was informed. You know, look at the results we had, and we were dropping, you know, quite a few. You know, so the team really wasn't at its peak. So, yeah, once the new trainer got in, yeah, it was a new opportunity to show what I could do, you know, to kind of say, all right, I got to figure it out. I got to really reset my mind, you know, and figure out how does my game coincide or connect, you know, intertwine with this new coach's philosophy, you know, and how do I have to adjust my game to make sure that I know football is going to change your game entirely, but you also know you got a job, you know, and you need to be playing, so you have to adjust as well. So, yeah, I think it was, a new opportunity for me to kind of go out and show what I could do.
There's not only a changing in trainers, but as we've seen with Genk, I've been to transfer market. You've played 817 minutes with Carlos Cuesta in central defense. You've played 850 with John, and you've played 990 with Sadiq. Mm-hmm. So you've had a lot of different partners, central back. Has that been a difficulty for you, or do you have to adapt a lot?
Yeah, look, the new coach, he rotated a good bit, right? In the second half of the year. But you look at the first half of the year, and even when I came last year, we had, I think during the playoff, we rotated because we had some injuries as well. So, yeah, you're picking up minutes and building these connections with the guys, with the new partnerships, and figuring out how does Carlos operate, how does Luku operate, how does Muja operate, what are ways that I can help him and ways he can help me, and how are we working together, to keep a 0, on the score sheet. So yeah, it has its perks, but it also has its difficulties as well, because you also have to build chemistry, and that in certain moments it's almost automatic, that if I'm playing with him, as a center back partner enough, if we have enough minutes together, then ultimately I know that when he steps up here, I got to slide here. And I know that when he gets the ball in this position, he's going to do that. I think that automatism, it happens naturally, with more and more repetitions, and I have a good amount of minutes with each guy on the pitch. So yeah, you built that chemistry, but yeah, you got to learn each other.
And then you went from title contenders to now scraping the playoff 2. Where do you think it went wrong for Genk this season? Not only performance-wise, but maybe playing style or tactics, because I know you love a lot of tactics.
Yeah, tactics. I think it's hard to pinpoint one thing that went wrong. I think at times I'll use this. Yeah. I think at moments in the season we were playing too much on the individual qualities of the team and not enough as a team. It wasn't a cohesive unit of guys defending and attacking together. You look at different parts. You have your middle third, your attacking third, your defensive third. And we were lacking in all aspects. In defensive transition, offensive transition. Offensively, we weren't giving enough support to our attackers. And we weren't using our qualities enough. As a unit and moving enough for each other. Depending on the numbers from last year, we had Paul, Ito, and Teo who balled out. Yeah, essentially, you know what I'm saying. So you start to lean too much on that and not enough on. All right, well, what happens if Ito's not having his sharpest game? What happens if Paul isn't able is having an off game? What happens if Teo? What happens if there's an injury? What happens if So all these different factors go into it. But I think, at times we were probably too individualistic, and depended too much on the talent of our team rather than the unity, the cohesiveness of the unit, to be able to know this is what's going to happen. If we're not playing well, we're going to be a difficult team to break down though. You're not going to be able to just run us, off the pitch, on attacking wise. When we're balling. So yeah, I think that's probably the best answer I could probably give you.
No, I can tell you've had media training. Don't worry.
But I'm being serious.
I appreciate it though.
You have media training though.
Yes,
back in the States, back in the States, I had media training and stuff like that. But my dad, he was big on public speaking and stuff. So he was one who was always putting me in front of, in situations where it's like public speaking is important. If you're in front of a camera, if you're, giving a speech in class, you need to make sure you enunciate your words. You have eye contact. You don't use the uhs and the ums, and you take time to think about your thoughts. So that's kind of where I got it from. And then as you get older in the sports world, you develop the skills for it. But back to what I was saying.
You're like that in a group chat too. So
bro, because I'm a professional in all ways. Look, I'm a professional in every aspect. But that's like the realest answer I can give you probably, in terms of and what's happened. Because honestly, I don't know. Everybody I think has their own things going on, and it's difficult to pinpoint exactly what's the issue. What's the problem with the team. We're not scoring enough. We're conceding too many goals, and you can use that as the mainframe. In terms of why we're not winning or why we're not getting results. But there may be underlying issues to that. There may be things that the guys, just aren't feeling it. They're just not confident, just not informed. When you lose matches, it's not good. When you're always thinking about like, dang, we haven't scored. In the last 115 minutes. We need a goal bad. It starts to eat away at guys in different ways. So guys react to different things, and I think that that's kind of why I gave that answer.
That's a good answer. Don't worry. Who is your dream partnership? Centre back partnership.
In the world.
in the world?
That's a loaded question, man. That's like
You should ask. You should thank Daniel. Ken Dog.
in the world, I'd say.
I'm not saying just a player pure by name. I mean like that will complement your.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking about. You think I'm just gonna give you this blanket? The best center back
I was
in the
gonna
world.
say that Van Dijk or something.
Nah, bro. Because
What qualities do you feel you'd need besides you?
I think for me, because I'm an undersized center back, it'd probably be best to have that balance. A lot of times.
Harry Maguire.
No.
Aerial
No.
threat, you mean? Like,
Yeah, in a way of like, yeah, I can win duels as well, but there's a lot of strikers who are also almost 2 meters. Paul, for example. So I really have to work on my timing, and really dominate and knock him, off of his jump, make sure he mistimes things, making sure that, in the box, I'm man marking and shoving him in a way where he can attack the ball how he wants to. So I think having that complement, because also some bigger center backs aren't necessarily the fastest, or aren't the best in lateral, defending and changing direction, So I think that's why I would say, a central defender partner who would be able to kind of balance, we'd balance each other out. So yeah, I played with in the MLS the guy Jack Elliott, who's similar. I think it's like 195 or something like that. But I'd say at the moment, I think a guy like a guy like
the way I hear you talk, I'd say Skriniar.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think. You see, I was thinking Koulibaly.
Yeah.
I think Koulibaly because he has similar attributes to myself, but he's a bit bigger, I believe. I would say a guy like Joel Matip.
Okay.
He's one who I think would be a good partner, or a guy like I don't like that.
I love how you think to yourself like, nah.
Yeah. I'll just
like
leave it at that. Yeah, I think those would be a couple guys who would probably be good
Matip and
partners.
Koulibaly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer. Who would you say was the worst striker to face?
Oh wow.
No, I mean the worst as in to you. As in,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No,
I was like, dang.
The toughest striker.
Nah, well, I want to know the worst as well.
The worst.
The worst as well. Who was the toughest and who was the
worst.
The worst. All right, I'll start with the toughest. The toughest striker I've had to face.
We're not counting training, by the way.
Yeah. Paul's difficult,
No,
but
no.
I would say he's not necessarily.
Say it.
Nah, because it's. I'd say he's not. When you say a striker, like you're talking number 9.
central forward?
Okay, you're talking 9.
Or if you have someone else in mind?
No, I was gonna say because a guy like Moussa Diaby,
Yeah,
when we played him, he was tearing. He was on a tear, bro, and he's very difficult because he's a bit unpredictable at times. So I think in terms of wingers, he was one I really had a difficult time against. Striker.
You know
Bro.
why? Because you don't think anyone bullied you in this league.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't feel like I feel like I do my homework a lot, on forwards that we face. But a guy who is very difficult to defend, I think, is Hans Vanaken.
Hans van Aken.
Yeah. He's not really like a central forward, but he floats in a lot of areas, so it's difficult to really find him and to locate him, because he's able to drop off and make the game as well, but he can also play up top and make a deep run, as well. So I think he's one that
And the
I
worst.
can use.
The one you had.
I'm not gonna say
You had an easy
worst,
ride.
bro.
An easy ride. You're like, if I play against him, I'm sleeping.
Who did you buddy?
Say it.
Bro, I'm trying to think of.
That you know someone.
I'm not.
Doesn't have to be in Belgium,
Oh, also a difficult one. I almost forgot.
Me.
Shut up, man. How you, Monta? I'd say Mbokani, bro.
He will love that.
Mbokani,
My favorite player. Yeah.
he was a difficult one to defend. He was a good forward. He wasn't the the fastest, but he was smart. You know, he was very smart in a way of finding spots in the box and whatnot. You know.
World Cup qualification. How do you feel about that?
Bro, excited. You know, bittersweet not being there with the group, of course. You know, I think that's a tough one to take sometimes because you want to, you want to be there and celebrate in the locker room, and you see all the celebrations on Instagram and social media and whatnot. But in my head, I'm like, look, I played a part, you know, in us qualifying and whatnot. So ultimately, at that time, I think March, I was playing minimal minutes. So I knew in my head, I had a conversation with the national team coach. He told me, he was like, listen, it's about minutes. And you haven't played a lot. Look, I get it. I understand. So I'd rather stay back and focus on getting fit again. You know, I was coming off an illness, I think, the 2 weeks before. So I didn't train and play. So like, yo, I'll stay back. I got to focus on getting healthy again. And it's tough because, when you're not there and you see it happening, you're like, man, did I really play a part in it? But you look back on it. I'm like, look, that's the checkpoint before we get to the World Cup, right? The checkpoint was qualifying, and now the real work. You know, you got 7 months to prepare for the big dance, the big event. So, yeah.
How do you feel about the draw?
I think it's fair.
England, Iran, and then one of
Wales, Ukraine, Scotland.
yeah.
I think it's fair. You know, I think I don't want to say we have an easy group by any means because look, it's the World Cup. Everybody's there for a reason, right? So
one of the favorites is England for now. So
exactly, you know, so we'll let them be the favorites if that's the case. But I think we gotta take it one game at a time, and that's the professional response. But bro, when you go to the World Cup, it's not like you're just going out there and you're playing against some youth teams. You're not playing against some rec teams. But these are world-class players. You got England squad that have majority of guys playing in the Prem, you know, on a weekly basis. You got, you know, you go down the list of players. You guys can all search, you know, who's on the roster and whatnot. But that's going to be the headline, you know, the headline matchup, of course. But, you know, Iran's going to ball as well. It's there at the World Cup, and they're not just going to get walked over. There's a bunch of grown men. You got Wales, Scotland, Ukraine. All teams.
got something to prove. Oh.
Everybody's going there with the idea that we want to qualify for the next round. So, yeah, I think for us, it's just about showcasing what we can do, you know, each game, you know, finding the best form possible going into that tournament, finding the best group that has the best chemistry, you know, going into that and making sure every guy's ready to step up because I think now it's like 27 guys you can have on the roster. So, yeah, you gotta be ready, bro, because it ain't going to be easy.
Is there any target set? Do you feel like American people have any target set, as in you guys need to reach, like, for example, the quarterfinals? Or
of course, I think that's always as a supporter, our fans are going to want us to go as far as possible. But we also have to be realistic and not take it there. You know, we have to think our first matchup against.
You don't know yet, I think. Is it already out? No, because the group is not set yet.
Yeah, because we're group is not set. So yeah. So, yeah, for us, it's that first game, you know, circling that first game and on. We want to start the right way. We want to start the group stage the right way and set the tone because you'd rather be at the top looking down than at the bottom looking up, you know. So, yeah, of course, the supporters want us to go far. Want us to win the World Cup, lift the trophy at the end. But that's easier said than done. The same FIFA, you know.
Your first game will be against Wales, Ukraine, or Scotland.
Yeah.
So it's England versus Ireland.
So what do we,
But what would you say would be a successful tournament for the US? Is it getting out of the group stages? Is it getting to a certain point? Where would you feel, not as a team, because I don't think you can speak as a team, but personally you'd be like, yeah, if we can get through this stage, then I'll be satisfied. Obviously you want more, but you'd be satisfied.
I think us getting out the group stage, that's going to be like the biggest step. You know, I think that's most important.
Okay.
And getting through the group stage. So, yeah, from there, it's kind of like a one-off game, right? You can play the game of your life. You can have one set-piece goal. You score in the 90th minute. You can score early and, you know, survive the game.
You're not scoring the goal, though.
Who?
You scored one.
I hope you will.
As I was saying. Yeah, look, I think getting through the group stage, that's the first step, you know, before you can start having thoughts about, you know, making it to the final, right? So, yeah, getting through the group stage, I think, would be the important thing for us, especially having a young team. Like, we have a relatively young team if you look at the age of our team, right? So, I think that's the biggest thing.
How would you feel about your national team manager wearing Jordans through the games? That's something that I just like. How do you feel as a player?
Nah, look, it's his it's his thing, you know, it's his niche. It's what makes him go, makes him feel fly on the sideline. So yeah, you look, every coach has their own thing, right? Some former Leeds manager had his cushioned seat. Pep has his whatever, you know.
You got company.
Simeone has
Company in Belgium
company,
has
you know.
McQueen's.
Yeah, he wears his McQueen on the sidelines.
We had a coach, George Lakers, who wore a yellow scarf every game.
Yeah, you know. So I think every coach has their thing, you know. It's
Do you have any pre-match rituals?
I would say I just read my Bible. You know, I have a verse that I go to before every game. But yeah, in terms of pre-match, you know, I think I have a routine in terms of what I like to get done. You know, I'm not superstitious and like, I need to put on my right boot before my left boot, and if I don't tie my right lace this tight or in this way, then I'm not like that. I'm more like, I know what I want to do. You know, I get into the locker room. You know, I set my gear there and put on my music, listen, go get some treatment, make sure I can do my activation. So it's more of a routine rather than like
The most underrated player you've ever played with?
I think that would have to be. Oh man, let's go down the list of guys.
Has to be quick fire, by the way.
Quick fire. Oh, it's quick fire.
Yeah, quick fire.
I think off the top of my dome, I would say Anthony Fontana.
Okay.
Very underrated. Academy kid I came up with in Philly. He's probably one of the best in terms of footwork, fastest feet, I played. Shout out to Anthony Fontana.
Okay. Favorite pair of boots ever?
The CTR.
Nike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
East Coast or West Coast music?
Ooh.
East Coast music.
Okay. US men's national team best friend?
This is hard. Tim Ware or Chris Richards?
Favorite Genk roommate?
Ooh. And least favorite?
The thing is, I haven't had a roommate.
Nah, but hotel, no?
No. Because since COVID, bro, they've
Single rooms?
Yeah, they've done single rooms. But if I was, I'd probably say probably Mike Trezor.
Least favorite or favorite?
No, favorite.
Okay.
Like Mike Trezor, Ike Ugbo, because we listen to the same music, similar tastes and that. Least favorite, not because of... it's not really least
I thought you would
favorite.
say Christian.
Christian, he's my guy, but yeah, I think we just have similar tastes, EK and Mike. But least favorite, probably not doing least favorite.
Nah?
Chelsea or Spurs?
Nah, maybe someone snores like...
Nah.
I snore, so
You snore.
if you'd ask
If it was in
anyone
America?
here,
Yeah.
it would be me.
Oh, wait, but don't have to be Genk though.
Oh, it doesn't have to be gang.
Oh, just general, bro.
Least favorite.
5,
Because he snores.
4. No, don't has to be snores, but something like that you don't like about the person.
Probably Brian.
You're 9. I never...
Chelsea or Spurs?
Ooh.
Chelsea for sure, bro. Can't go with Spurs.
Drake or Kanye West?
Drake.
Basketball or American football?
Basketball, 100%.
Okay. And you're a Knicks fan, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this season?
Failure?
This is fine. Tim is a Lakers fan, so it's fine. I have 2 more questions and then we're going to round up. You have your own podcast called Orange Slice of Soccer.
Yes.
What made you start a podcast?
I just wanted to kind of tap into something new. I wanted to, you see it all the time. You see a bunch of athletes now stepping into the realm, so kind of give an inside scoop as to what it's like. With our podcast, it's someone from the older generation and myself, the new generation, the younger generation. And so you have that connection, between similar experiences, different experiences, and then you can bring on guests who also share experiences from back when and who also have experience with myself. So I think tapping into that and also learning about the media side of things, I think it's interesting. Keeps me on my toes.
Plug it if you look into the camera.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, Orange Slices. You can get all your podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever. Also follow us on Twitter. And make sure you follow me on Instagram.
And then, because now we're in the age of equity, what is the investments that you have done throughout the years? Because you said that you always want to have something on the side when you stop playing football?
Yeah. Oh wait, slice of soccer, by the way. It's not orange slices.
See?
For me, real estate. I've been investing in real estate now. I've gotten into that more. My mom, she has an expertise in that realm, so she's helped me a lot with that. She's handled from being stateside. She's helped me handle a lot of my endeavors in there. Talking with the property managers and figuring out which properties would be best, most lucrative, and the best neighborhoods, with schools or with public transportation, all these different things that you don't really think about, you just try to find the nicest house. You're like, oh, that looks nice. So, why not get that? But a lot of underlying issues that may be going on with it, why people sell it all the time. And also have my financial advisor who helps me invest in the stocks and stuff. So also learning, on the fly with that, having somebody who knows the game, somebody who we trust, their family. They've been working with my family for some time. So yeah, building that relationship, somebody who's not going to just take your money and invest it, for no reason into stuff that, you have no interest in. So,
All right.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to close my laptop.
Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead.
one final thing.
Oh, boy.
You have to answer correctly. What was the most beautiful memory you've had in Belgium? Answer correctly.
Most beautiful memory. I think the first one that I've ever had was the first bite of my waffle. The second one was leaving the hotel out of quarantine when I first got to Belgium.
Oh, wow. I can imagine.
Yeah, that was the hard. And the third, lifting the trophy, at the Croky Cup.
And the fourth?
That was special.
He wants to hear something about
Yeah, I know. He wants me to gas him. I'm purposely not, right? And probably like the 72nd thing would probably be like meeting Brian and having him drive me around to get waffles.
Hey,
there
Mr.
we
C
go.
class.
71st is probably being with my guy.
Nah, I appreciate it. It's somewhere on the list, isn't it? At least you have a list. Nah, but yeah, it's been fun. Sorry, it's another question, sorry, but how was it? Obviously, because now you went to a country where initially you thought you never knew someone. Did it help knowing that it was someone here that can help you with little stuff like even just knowing where to get the right provider for your phone and everything?
No, for sure. When you don't speak the language yet and you don't know the culture yet, it's much easier to have somebody who understands things, better than you do. So yeah, I'll gas Brian here. I'll give him his credit. He looked out for me in a lot of ways, and helping me, whether it be translating stuff that I didn't understand, calling places, so that way I could arrange, a pickup or a takeaway or, trying to find food and figuring, all these little things, that you wouldn't think about. Yeah, he looked out, so it definitely helps having somebody who can assist you or just to get away a little bit, somebody who you can meet up with, grab some food, chop it up, luckily he enjoys football, so I can talk about, have some banter with my guy about, how trash Man U are and whatnot, which honestly, I don't know why, well, actually I do, because my uncle is a Man U fan, so it's a good time, anytime I can trash him, but yeah. Look, credit to Brian. Big up to Brian for looking out. Being there for me.
Like you're doing too much now.
Wow, man! I said I give you your props. So I give you I give you your props. But always having somebody there is nice. Especially when you're new to a country and things aren't. Especially during COVID when things you weren't sure about what was going to happen.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people underestimate how important it is to have someone in your court. Doesn't have to be like me, for example, but like when you go to another country, especially like mental health wise, because you're alone a lot of times, especially at the start. Now you have someone over, but yeah, it's difficult, I think, sometimes. But to close it off, I want to thank first of all.
You had a question, didn't you?
Oh, you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you
Nah.
didn't? Okay,
That's
I
just
was
the
going to say
way.
something after the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I want to thank first of all Gilles. Thank you for being here again, being an
Big up, Gilles.
incredible host
Thank you,
as
Brian.
usual, and he has good questions all the time. So,
We tried.
and then I want to thank you, Mark Alexander William Mckenzie, aka
That's
Mr.
not my
I have
legal
to say,
name.
I have to call you Ken Dog from Daniel, but thank you for coming, giving honest answers, and
And good luck for the rest of the season, man.
yes.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh,
You're welcome.
can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
You know when we played football,
Anyway, this guy
And
wants,
we-
to,
and
he
we
wants
did-
to chat
and we beat
about.
you.
Well, no, first off, he wants to race me. That didn't
Yeah.
He beat me in
What?
you have to head the ball, hit the crossbar.
And
Lost. What was the other one?
crossbar challenge.
Oh, he beat me in crossbar challenge.
And
yeah.
we did the 21 year. 21.
Where's the energy?
If you shoot on a crossbar, it's -10. If you like hit
Hold
the...
on, it's not that.
Hold on, it's not that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I beat you in 3 games.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
After training, by the way. I drove all the way to
Nah,
Antwerp
it's
to
your
bang
day
out with
off. I want to thank you all for watching to the podcast. Dit was een Eén-Tweetje I Mark Mckenzie. Dank om te kijken. Like, subscribe, click on the little bell notification if you want to watch more of our videos. Klik op het kleine belltje als je meer video's van ons wilt checken. En ja, Jules nog iets zeggen? Jules wants to say something. I don't know if it's in English or in Dutch.
Nee, ik ben gewoon...
He's doing his signs.
I'm just gassing you up.
Long-term vision, let's go.
Thank you all.